All right, guys, round two of trying to make this router plane. So we'll start with the ingredients list. Plexiglass. An Allen wrench, make sure it's carbon steel, not just a cheap one. Thumb screw. I'm going to make an insert, a threaded insert for the thumb screw because I already have this piece in this size and I'm cheap, but I would probably just buy one. And then just some screws to attach this piece of wood to the base. I've got this piece of laminate that I'm going to attach this to while I route out, drill out, shape out, do all the things that I need to. And then I've got, since I messed my piece up yesterday, which I think I can fix this and save it, but I want to make one concise video of me doing it all nice, you know. I shaped the cutout nice, so I've got a template for everything. So I'm going to start by transferring the shape. Okay. Now, I know this is 7 inches, so I'm going to quickly lay out my center mark. Figure out, I think this is about where I want the opening of the mouth to be. And if I'm using a 1 3/8 because that's my biggest first bit, that means that I am going to need to be at 1/2 inch plus 3/16 is 11/16. That's going to be my mark for where I drill. Now where I really bit it yesterday is the placement of these holes here. That set this way too far forward into this hole. So I'm going to back these holes up this time. So I was 1/4 inch off my center. I want to be, I'm going to go 5/8. Let's see what that gets me. We'll make a mark across this, mark across that. Then at 1/2 inch, let's say 1 inch, we'll put our holes. That's what our layout's looking like, guys, at least for this design. So the video I watched, what he does is he takes 2 circular saws, takes like a 4 inch, let's say, and takes like a 2 inch or 1.5 inches or whatever size he used. He cuts out the small, or he cuts out the large hole, and then he cuts out the small hole using that same pilot hole, and his whole router bit is just that circular design, easy peasy. I just want mine a little bit bigger for the bottom structure and to make it look sexy, you know. Next, I attach this double-sided tape. This is just so I can super glue these together temporarily. I don't want it on any spot that I need to see the line, which is right there. If I put it right along this line, it'll be okay. That'll be my reference line. before I tape this on, I'm going to make some pilot holes. Just cleaning up a little bit. Some of these got a little bit of, you know, some tear out, whatever you want to call it. You know, just the plastic melting. Just clean that up a little bit before I get using my Forstner bits. Last time I used that Miles Craft Guide, I think that's a little redundant for this. It's honestly what messed up my last piece. If you just eyeball the way your Forstner bit's going in, it'll guide you. Okay. There's the mouth. All right. This piece is 7 inches, and this is a 1/2 inch bit. So if I set my wall 3 1/4 from this side of the bit, I'm unplugged while I mess with this. We're already there from yesterday. Just gotta clamp this guy down. Now, the reason that I drilled all this before routing it is because now I can push through, and once I get past into this hole, I'm going to feel it push through. There's going to be no more pressure on it, and I'll know when to pull out, so I'm not going to accidentally go too far in. At this point, since I have this template anyways, I think I'm going to tape this onto this side, take the back side off, and then proceed with this piece, because then I can cut it out and actually route around it using this as an edge guide and get it perfect and crisp. So alright, so found my center point both this way and that way. I've already placed a hole for my drill bit. Now I'm going to try to figure out what I want for layout. First thing I'm going to do is grab, this is the Allen key that I'm going to build it out of. I want it to hang out a bit, that way I can get down into a groove. That's probably somewhere about right in there is probably good. So now what we're going to do is let's go out 1 inch on each direction. I'm going to use this to guide myself. See how I did? Inch and an eighth. So we need to jog over this way. Okay. Around these corners. Let's something, you probably can't see it, but something like that's going to be our design. But drill the hole straight through so this can go up in, and somewhere about right somewhere center-ish. It doesn't have to be perfect. We will then put the hole for the thumb screw. So I'm going to probably drill the hole, cut the shapes. We'll drill both holes, cut the shape out, finish shaping, assemble, hopefully have a router plane. Oh, and somewhere along the process make this bad boy, but that's probably going to be the last step. Cool, guys. I'm just going to eyeball this drill. It's a bad idea, but I'm doing it. Maybe I'll grab this guy right here. I'm going to go halfway, then meet myself the other way. Now I'm going to get the right size bit, and I'm going to drill all the way through. Start out backwards, since I'm tapping into a bit already, or a hole I already did. I'm going to come out, start, and now I don't have any tear out.
What's up, guys? Here I'm epoxying in the threaded insert. Now I'm tapping the hex key through the pre-drilled hole to get that hexagon shape.
Alright guys, we have our base components mostly assembled. See the blades in, we got our thumb screw, so it's operational. I've just got to sharpen the blade, shape the handle, drill the holes to attach it, and put it together, and we're done. Doing is I'm recessing. Right here is where the blade's going to stick out, so I want to make a little concave right there so that you can see a little better. That's what we're talking about right there. See, closer to the blade, you can see in a little better. We don't want to go all the way. I've still got about 1/4 of an inch. Just give some real estate, but I mean, we got plenty of bite in here, so I think we'll be okay either way. Now I'm just thinking about where my thumbs are going to go, and that's about right here, so I'm going to make some grooves there.
Here I'm drawing reference lines to follow with my files and rasps. Now I just start at one end and I slowly follow my way up to the lines that I created. I'll start at one end and then I'll eventually turn around to the other side and work the other way, following the path that I've already started.
Starting to get a little shape going. So I'm going to carry this out for a while and then report back with you. Alright guys, it's shaped. We got the thumb screw in. So I wanted to keep the shape of the hex key, you know, because that's going to lock it straight forward where I want it. So what I did, you can't really see very well. There we go. I took, this is like a metric. It's a 6mm, and I took a 1/4 inch bit and I drove it through here. Like I drilled this the same size, the 6mm, and then I took a 1/4 inch, which is barely over the 6mm, and I drove it in, and that drove the hexagon shape. Now this just fits right in there, and even without the key turned, it's pretty tight. But then I tighten up the thumb screw, and she ain't going anywhere. It's not moving. So now I just gotta get it clamped down, drill my holes, and assemble it. And I've got myself a router plane. Cool.
Clamping slippery plastic to wood isn't easy. Use masking tape and super glue. Don't do what I did. Now I'm drilling for my screws using the pre-drilled holes on the plate. Cool. Now I attach everything together. I'm putting paste wax on the screws for lubrication. As I drive them down, I check the depths to make sure that they're seated underneath the base plate, and if not, I adjust with a countersink bit, and everything is put together. I'm finishing this with a blend of boiled linseed oil, a thinner, and polyurethane. It allows for deep penetration while having more of a natural matte finish. It also is just a wipe on, wipe off process, but I do like to buff it in for a good while to really get it in there deep. Then I just let it sit and wipe it off after. After it's dried, I like to burnish it with some wood shavings.
What up? Okay guys, a couple quick adjustments I made. I just put a groove back this way so this fits further back. I wanted it further back on the body. And then I made this little groove here so that this can sit up further, so that when everything's set in, you know, before it was sitting underneath the body fully closed. So all I have left to do is put it back together and shape the blade, and I've got myself a plane.
Here I'm taking the hex key to the belt grinder. You want to go slow and dip it, and you want to make sure that you're angling it towards the tip, so the back of it, where the bend is higher than where the point of the blade is. That way the point is the only thing that makes contact.
Okay guys, it's done. I haven't tested it yet. I was gonna wait to do that with you guys, but yeah, it's looking pretty slick. A couple things I want to talk about because I didn't really address it during filming. Let's talk about the anatomy of a router plane blade, at least this style with the L-shaped blade. Because if you look, it angles up. It doesn't go straight flat. And that's so that just the tip is what hits your surface. We don't want anything else rubbing and interfering with it. We've got our reference surface and our cutting edge. That's it. So that's something that you want to take into consideration or factor in when you carve your blade. Mine isn't as extreme, but it is there. It allows so just the point will hit, but I don't have as much blade as that had. Only thing left to do is to test it, so let's do that.
Alright guys, I'm ready to test this thing. The threaded insert that I made, it just slips out. It doesn't have any fluting, so it doesn't bite into the wood. So I'm going to have to order some and redo that part, but when it's in place, it works. It just slips, but it's been a pretty fun little one-day build. Thanks for watching, guys.